I love acroyoga. Honestly, sometimes I think it's probably more of an obsession than anything else. If you're not familiar, it's a way of playing with another person based around gymnastics and acrobatics and, to a lesser extent, yoga, though the ties to that are pretty tenuous. Clips of me doing acro have appeared in several of my videos, and a lot of you guys have asked me what it is that I'm doing and why. Well, it's acro, and it's not a coincidence that this is what I'm putting in my videos, because I talk a lot about raw foods and veganism and health and vitality and all that in terms of disease prevention and just feeling better are great, but the vitality that results from living well should be used on something fun. And for me, acroyoga is one of the most fun things I could possibly find to do with myself or a partner. I come from a background of just being fat and sick and not really being able to express myself in a vital way, so for me, acroyoga is kind of the reason why I do what I do. Acro reinforces why you should take care of yourself, because you want to be able to play with other people and express yourself in a vital way for the rest of your life. And I just feel amazing and just like I'm coming alive when I'm doing acro. Brittany and I have been doing acro together for about 9 months, and I feel like we're getting to the point where we're getting reasonably good. But the amazing thing about acro is that you just have to survey the field and realize that compared to what other people are doing, you've only mastered a small portion of what's out there. We could conceivably make improvements in our abilities at this rate for the next 10 years and not run out of things to do and things to learn and areas to grow in. One of the things that I really love is watching how, as we master new techniques and abilities, these stack and allow us to achieve ever more amazing things. These mono pancakes and reverse pancakes were kind of cool, but what if you could, for instance, connect them together?
Thanks! Finally got it!
Heck yeah, that was awesome!
Thanks, guys!
You start off with something relatively easy, like a pop to foot. Once you're up there, you learn to pop down to throne. You put some time in working on your throne pops. You pop from easy throne to foot to hand. And before long, you're ready to try something crazy, like a pop from easy throne to foot. I don't know how I do that. That's crazy. I have no idea how that works. I just do it. If we slow that down, Brittany is, for all intents and purposes, levitating from my hands to my feet. Now, theoretically, I guess there has to be at least a few people who really just love using their elliptical machine. But it really just raises the question in my mind, when acroyoga is available and all you need is another person and maybe a mat to lay on, then why is anyone paying gym memberships? Some people dismiss acroyoga as just, circus tricks, but both the base and the flyer will get stronger and more flexible and have better coordination and basically gain all the benefits of all the machines you get in the gym, except this is fun. It is so gloriously fun that sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I'm just not tired yet, I'll just lay awake thinking about new ways to connect acro moves. And the difference between people who go to gyms and people who do acro is that the people who go to gyms, their goal is weight loss and, oh yeah, I should probably be fit. But in acro, the goal is fun, and the byproduct is fitness and staying in good shape. In fact, the acro monkeys who really take their acro seriously all pursue fitness for the goal of enhancing their acro. I've seen this in myself and Brittany because neither of us is willing to be the slacker that holds the team back. Brittany will tell you that although she's always tried to keep herself fit and always done some kind of physical activity, she never really put the time and effort into developing these gymnastic abilities until she had to, for instance, jump into a handstand from somebody's shoulders and learned that, yeah, you actually need to be able to jump really far. And so we've been working on developing that, and I've been working on a whole bunch of things to make my acro performance better. Now, you might look at the pairing of us and say, okay, well, Andrew's like 179 pounds and Brittany's 114, and Brittany has to be the flyer and Andrew has to be the base, and so their ability to really master a lot of the moves will be impaired by the size difference. But actually, Brittany flies me all the time, and she does a really incredible job of it considering how much size difference there is, and that's basically because she knows how to use technique to overcome weight differences. If you take a really heavy person and a really light base and try to get them to work together, if you know how to stack the weight properly, you can do some pretty amazing and incredible things. And the more that Brittany flies me, the stronger she gets and the more stuff that we can do together. So it just like, as she becomes stronger as a base, she becomes stronger as a flyer, and our whole practice improves. Much of what acro partners do together has significant risk attached to it. Brittany could drop me, I could drop Brittany, someone could get hurt. Ironically though, if we want to remain injury-free, pretty much the worst thing we could possibly do would be to tense up and have fear, because when that happens, you're more likely to get yourself injured. You're more likely to freeze up during a critical moment and smash into something. The only two really safe choices are to just either do nothing dangerous or to just trust in yourself and in your partner and believe that they're going to put your safety first. When you surrender your body's wellness to another person like this, it actually leads to a surprising amount of intimacy and closeness. I don't just mean romantically, because when you have a stranger and you fly with them for a few hours, you'll be hard-pressed to not be at least on fairly friendly terms with them. There's just something that develops between people. It's probably not that surprising that a lot of my friends here in Austin are people who do acro, because, you tend to get really close to it. And once you have that closeness, it's easy to just find a lot of humor and laughing in the situation. I can't tell you how many times Brittany and I have just broken up in hilarious laughter during acro sessions. There's just so much to laugh about. Though, perhaps as much as anything else, one of the most enjoyable aspects is just doing acro in public and watching groups gather, and they want to watch you and cheer for you and clap, and people ask you to fly them. They get excited. Little children just stare gap-mouthed at you because they're like, oh, that's a possibility I hadn't considered. Maybe there is an alternative to being a obese couch potato. And I honestly feel like when I do that I'm making the world a little bit better. I'm reminding people of the possibilities out there. Anytime I can remind people that they're monkeys, essentially, and they should be playing, I've done a good deed. Now, you don't need many resources to start doing acro. You can grab your husband, sister, brother, neighbor, friend, whatever, and just say, hey, why don't you get on my feet? Weird proposition, I know, but it will be surprisingly effective, I think. And you can just run from there. We never had any lessons when we first started. We looked on some YouTube videos to get the basics. Our friend Grant runs the Yoga Batics company in Austin, and they've produced a series of free ones on YouTube, which I'll link to in the video notes, which is great for learning the absolute basics. But if you have the opportunity, try to find a local group to play with. There's jams all over the country now on a weekly basis. Most of the major cities now have acro groups: Boston, New York, LA, the Bay Area. DC, Austin, and there's plenty of others as well, but admittedly, some areas don't have any at all. Now, Austin may have the highest concentration of ambitious acro monkeys anywhere in the world right now. During the 3 quarters of the year when the weather's nice, you go every Friday to the Palmer Event Center around 7:30, and there's a free jam where awesome people are just hanging out, and you teach other people that want to know how you do your stuff, and they teach you their stuff that looks cool, and everyone just has a really good time. Given how most Americans spend their Friday evenings, I'd say this is a pretty good alternative. It's really fun. We've been going pretty steadily for about 4 months, and I would say that it's the source of the large part of our acro growth. Most of, probably 75% of what we do together, we learn from other people at these jams. So now you know about my acro bug. Just watch out, it's a little bit contagious.